when there are two different trainings. We start again with our second training. Now, I'm hoping that our first trainer can stick around because up next, we have Safiya Miller. Now, she is our resident. We have to do the teams, and the teams is not easy to figure out or get along with. And she did an entire contest. Can you imagine? A contest on teams. Now, for all of us who have persons who have teams and we choose to support them, can you be our timer at our next meeting? Would it be possible for you to be our counter, chat monitor, grammarian? You know, you used to blink from Zoom, but it's how can we possibly do that? Well, Safiya is going to walk us through, but because it's Teams, guess what? You would have to check in the chat for the links to the team space, because if she is going to share, she is going to need participants to utilize in order to do that as well. So what I'm going to be asking us to do is to look in the chat and we can join the team's meeting post. We're not leaving this one. Let me just emphasize it. We're not leaving this meeting. What we're doing is we are going to join that other meeting. So again, we're not leaving this one because this is the one that we're staying in. But what we're going to do is also open Teams, because she can't move people to a breakout room if there's no one in the breakout room, right? So we're gonna ask us to just go ahead and join that meeting to give her at least some people to work with. And we're gonna give a couple minutes for those of us who can to jump over to that side. But I am now going to turn over to her while we all wait to get on to Teams.
Thank you, Joni, for that introduction. Good evening, everyone. And I will be presenting this evening, as Joni mentioned, on Microsoft Teams and how we can use Microsoft Teams to, are you guys hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Awesome. So we're gonna take a little guide, a walkthrough of Microsoft Teams and how we can use it in our regular meetings, as well as for any other virtual events that we may have. As Joni mentioned, I did use Microsoft Teams in my club's speech contest some time ago, and it helped me to even learn a little bit more about how the platform works. So I'll be taking you through what I've learned. So the first and one of the most important things about Microsoft Teams is that Microsoft Teams was originally an organizational app, meaning if it is that Microsoft Teams is built into Microsoft, the suite of applications that Microsoft has available. And because of this, it's usually linked to any other services within the Microsoft suite. So unlike Zoom, where you can just type in Zoom and log in and get your access, there are different categories, different tiers available for our Teams that will allow you with different features. So before I go into the features and how you can utilize it, I'll just be giving you a quick guide on what that kind of looks like. So you have Microsoft has 3 tiers. You have Microsoft Teams Home, Microsoft Teams Business, and Microsoft Teams Enterprise. So Microsoft Teams Home has 3 tiers, right? Microsoft Teams Free, which as the name suggests, is a free version of the application. And with this, you get 60 minutes of meeting time per meeting. You get to have a maximum of 100 meeting participants. You also get 5 gigs of cloud storage, that is linked to OneDrive, which is also another Microsoft application. That's the Microsoft Cloud Storage application. And as I mentioned, Microsoft works in a suite, right? So you do have access to that 5 gigs of data. You have unlimited chat messages. You can do plans together using tasks and polls. And of course, privacy and security features are there as well. So that's what you get from the most basic version of Microsoft Teams, right? You also have Microsoft 365 personal, and Microsoft 365 family. Now, the difference between those two, of course, is that they come at a cost. So if it is that you want to use Microsoft Teams from a personal standpoint, then you can use one of these. And this would be better utilized in a space where you're collaborating actively or often with friends and family, right? So there is a cost attached, and of course, as the tiers go higher, you would receive more advanced features as well as more storage and more meeting time. The second is Microsoft Business, which is typically for smaller businesses. And here you also have a Microsoft Teams free option. You have, which provides you with the same as you would get from the Microsoft Teams home package, as well as the file sharing capability. So with this option, for instance, you just started your business, you could use Microsoft Teams to collaborate with your small team. You would also be able to share files, and you'll receive 2 gigs of storage to do so. So here you can store and share files amongst your teammates for safekeeping, for collaboration, and so on. Then you have Microsoft Teams Business Basic and Microsoft Teams Business Standard. And of course, anything outside of the free version comes with a cost. And then you have Microsoft Teams Enterprise. So that's the third kind of big pillar. This one is for the larger corporations. So the Digicels, the Nestle's, the Pepsi, the KPMG, the bigger organizations, the bigger business entities would most likely use this version. And here, of course, along with Teams, you get a whole host of other apps. But in order for this to work, though, you would have to definitely reach out to Microsoft. You'll have a sales representative linked to your account, and then you would negotiate costing, prices, and the necessary features based on the needs of your business and the size of your business, right? So that may include some licensing agreements that may need to happen based on the number of people in your organization that would need access to Teams. So that's how the Microsoft framework kind of works, and that's what makes it a little bit more complicated in using it. But this information is available on the Microsoft website. You can go and look for Microsoft Teams plans, and you'll be able to see the breakdown of the listing and the offerings. So just so that you understand a little bit how that works, I wanted to share that information, and then we will now. What I'll be using is my work. I'll be using my work Teams account to walk us through the presentation. Because of course, with the enterprise version, you are able to get the most out of the Teams, and I would love for you to see all of the capabilities that are available. Of course, again, based on my organization, some things may be limited, but most of the things that I believe would be of most value to your clubs and your virtual meetings are available for me to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and feel free to stop and ask any questions as we go through. Let me just share my screen. All right, guys. So I see a few persons. Are you guys seeing my screen? Please confirm.
Alive.
Awesome. All right, so.
First and foremost, how you get your hot girl picture on there?
Okay, so that's one of the things. Well, all right, so if you have a personal account, once you sign, with your personal account, you would have to link your Microsoft account to to Teams. So if you have a Hotmail account, an Outlook, so a hotmail.com, outlook.com, live.com are the domains that Microsoft mainly use. There are probably others, but those are the main ones. And with that account already created, you can literally sign into the free version of Microsoft Teams. So once you have you have a picture on your Microsoft account, whether it's from your email, because remember, it's all linked. So whether it's from your email or from Teams itself, it would not, once you log in, it normally links and translates there. However, say for instance, you want to have a different picture in Teams, the first thing you would need to do is to click so without my picture, you would see like a frame of a person, of course, representing your profile. So you would click that option there. And then you click again. So let me do that again. Click there. And then click the picture. You'll see the camera come up. You click that. You would upload your picture and it will take you to the screen to find the picture of your choosing. And that's how you get a nice, cute, your pretty picture displaying your beautiful face on Teams. Pretty simple. Right? So here, as I've mentioned, we have the Teams platform. Typically, once you sign into Teams, your screen would look something like this. This is the Teams chat, so let me come off that. But something like this, where if you have no chats open, then it would just be a blank screen and it would be asking you to click here to start a chat, and you would type in the person's name. You could also click the chat option here to enter the name of the person you would like to speak to start a conversation with. And this is across all versions of Teams, right? So if you want to talk to Carly, you search the name and the chat will come up, right? So that's pretty much how it works to start a conversation with anybody on Teams as a first step, a simple step. Yeah. You also have, which is fairly new, on Teams is a pinned version of a chat with yourself. So for instance, if you have something that you want to save somewhere really quickly, some notes that you just want to put away so you have it to go back to, you can go to your chat. It's always pinned as the first chat in the chat listing, the chat panel, and you can put whatever notes you put. Save, and it will be there for you to go back to at any point. It won't go anywhere. So you can go there and put information and go back to it, right? So that's one pretty cool thing that works for me when I need to, make notes and keep my thoughts close, right? So I'm gonna go through the side panel here first and foremost. So the first thing you'll see on Teams is the activity option or the activity feed. Here you'll see any action that has taken place through chats, through calls, through meetings on Teams. If it is that someone called you, you didn't answer, they left a voicemail, you will see the notification here. So this is just like your notification panel, right? If someone did a chat but you didn't have Teams open, it will come up there as well. So this is your notification panel. That's what activity represents. Of course, as I mentioned, this is your default screen, which is a chat screen. And here you'd see all list of chats that you would have available. You would have already previously created. If you didn't have any before, obviously it would be blank. Then you have the Teams icon. The Teams icon represents what Teams refers to as channels. So it's pretty much a group. So if you have within your organization, or if you're using the small business option or tier, the package, then you have the option to create a channel. And in the channel, you can add the persons that you would like to. So let me actually, sorry. So here you would add in your channels, you would add the person, if you want a specific group, a smaller group that you can communicate, if maybe if you're working on a special project within your club, you'd want to get the ball rolling, you can start by creating a team, right? So you click to the bottom, join or create a team. You can start from scratch, or if you already have a group or a team, this is, as I said, more organizationally driven. But if you have a group or a team already created, you could actually join the team or link the team to your channels panel, so you have it for easy access. So to start to create a team from scratch, you would click from scratch and then click private. Of course, if you don't want anybody to be able to join the team just off the whim by searching. If it is you want it public, in that case, persons are able to just join the team based on the list of available channels there. So you can write a quick description and create. Awesome, nice work. Right? And then you will go to adding the members of your team. So you would go here to type in the person's name. You click add, and they're now a member, right? So of course you would add as many as you need. And then if it is that you want the person to have ownership privileges or just member privileges, which is member privileges usually include being able to view and edit documents, and owner privileges are in relation to the management of the channel itself. So if it is that you assign ownership to the person, then they will be able to remove members, add members, edit the team information, the team description, and so on and so forth, right? So here you have a team. Here you can share files. So if I wanted to start a conversation in my new team, I would say, this poses as almost like a chat, a group chat, and you are able to add files here as well for collaboration. So you would select the attach option, or you can drag and drop in the attach the file, it loads, and then you would send it off. So from there, you would have in the files tab here, can I minimize this? All right, so in the file tabs there, anything that is shared with or from any member of the team or channel will be available in the file section, right? You can download the information, you can edit the information, you can share, and so on and so forth. So if you click the document, you are able to view, the information, make edits if the person that uploaded the information allowed it, and this information will be changed or updated in real time. So once you have made your changes, it would the other persons within the team or channel would have access to view those changes, right? So that's pretty much what a channel is like. It's similar to what you're able to do in a chat, but just in a specific team with a specific group of people. All right, so here you have the calendar option. And of course, your calendar is to represent any meetings that you may have, right? You can create a meeting in the calendar option. You can just start a meeting and then add persons into the meeting thereafter. And if you have a meeting ID, then you can also join with the meeting ID that would have been provided to you to join the meeting. If you have the link, then you when you click the link, it would take you directly to the meeting, right? So to create a meeting in Teams, you pretty much new meeting, type the title of the meeting and the relevant persons. If you have any notes that you'd like to put, then you can do that as well. You click save and it will automatically go to the email accounts that you would have selected as required attendees, right? So that's how you create a meeting. Then you have calls. This is, of course, as I said, my work Teams account. So here, if it is that you're using maybe a small business account, you'll be able to, or if in the business enterprise account, you get the option to make calls, like outgoing calls outside of the organization. That is also possible, but that is based on the features and capabilities that you would have requested within your package, right? So for my specific organization, I'm only able to make calls to persons who are already within the organization using Teams, but it's pretty straightforward. You type the person's name, and once they come up, you will click and it will call. I don't want to call anyone right now, so I won't actually click it, but it will actually take you to the call, to start a call with someone within your team. And then the file segment is, as the name suggests, a general area for all the files that you would have used. Now remember that Teams is linked to your Microsoft suite. So some of the information here is linked to my Outlook, linked to information shared on SharePoint that I utilize, right? So that is what any files that you share within Teams or within Microsoft on a whole or any files that you interact with at any point would be, or should be, the recent ones should be available here. And then I won't go into many more of the applications because Teams allow you to integrate with many different apps. But the ones that I think would be of most value, we'll go through shortly. Any questions so far?
No, but we're going back over the video. I can't tell you that much.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I would, as you know, would have created a meeting and a few persons are in the meeting. Awesome. So as we would have gone to our calendar, sent out our meeting invite to the persons that we need in our meeting for our club meeting, or if it's our club contest, would have shared that that we would have shared the invite to them already, so they have that in their inbox. They click the link to join the meeting, and we are in.
Okay, just that side note, I'm seeing Monique's hand raised.
Hi. I'm not sure if you covered this, but you know, sometimes when you have a meeting you record it, how do you find it to put it in like your proper storage? Because I find I have difficulties. They send the recording and it's all mixed up with all your different chat messages that you have with everybody, Teams, and it's not structured. Versus like if you use Google, they attach the recording to the actual appointment. So for me to navigate in Teams, it's difficult for me to figure out, to go through and find the recording of a particular meeting to then structure it and put it into folder structures.
Okay, so to ensure I understand the question, let me just repeat what I understood. So you want to know how to be able to access your recordings in a, because you said that the recording is broken up.
Yeah, if you go to your chat, go to click in your chat area, right, you'll see all the recordings there afterwards that come up for the particular week, and it's all mixed up with all the chat that you're talking to everybody in work there. And I find that jumble up, and this is Google attaches it automatically, and it's intelligent to do it to the back to the appointment. You could go back to the day of the appointment, look in the calendar and see the recording there. But with Teams, you have to scroll down all that list there that you have on the left with all your chat friends and find the recording.
Okay, so the first thing is that Microsoft Teams recordings are linked to another application within the Microsoft suite called Microsoft Stream, right? So just as you see, let me go back to my chat here. So for instance, this meeting here, where there was a recording, after the meeting has concluded, it will say saving recording. And once the recording has been saved, then you can literally click the link of the meeting and it will take you to the recording. Some organizations allow for you to download recordings and some don't. So the permissions may differ based on the organization setup, the backend setup when they were creating the Microsoft account, but they're usually saved here. I'm not sure. Does that fully answer your question, or maybe just in part?
It probably answers, but I probably have to try it out and see and navigate and see if I can play around with the MS Stream.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because and then once you go in Stream, usually if you're a part of any meetings that you're a part of are usually available to you. But sometimes again, based on the restrictions or permissions set by the organization, you may not have, they may expire after some time based on those little features that they would have set up. So as you see here, once you click the stream up the home, this is like your home page. So you can see all of the recordings from meetings you would have been involved in, and you will be able to go back and review the recording there. So yes, I do think once you're in the meeting area here, it will pop up just like you're seeing here after it has been saved, once the meeting is concluded, and you will be able to access it via Microsoft Stream. All right, so we are in our meeting. So this is the meeting chat. This is the meeting chat that we're in. So based on the call, I will be able to say hi to everybody, just like what we do with Zoom. And then this is our actual meeting window. Here, you'll see all your participants. If they are showing their video, of course, you'll see the video. With the people option, you're able to see all the participants within the meeting. To the right of on the right participants panel. With the chat option, of course, you're able to converse with the persons within the chat. Hi, Carol. With the reactions tab, you are able to raise your hand here. And then once you raise your hand, the yellow ring will come just around your profile icon, and then you'll see the little hand to the left-hand corner of the window. Then you click to lower your hand, you will then click it again. And then of course you can use the reactions available, right? Not as many reaction options as on Zoom, but the few main ones are there, like make applauding and so on, are available. There is also a question and answer feature. This would most likely not be available in the free version, and most in the organizational or enterprise version of Teams. But with question and answer, you can use this feature to allow persons to send in automatic questions to, instead of, so if, for instance, if you don't want to use the chat because the chat may disrupt the presentation, here you can enable, what you have to do though is to enable this question and answer feature before the start of the meeting by utilizing the meeting options in the, so when you go to calendar, let me show you. And so this is the actual meeting that would have been set up. Here you have the meeting options segment. It will open a new tab and take you to all the meeting options. Here, before the meeting starts, it's recommended that the organizer enables Q&A. Once you toggle that to yes, you'll be able to utilize that feature on Teams, right? So I would have done that prior to the start of our meeting. And here, instead of asking questions in the chat and maybe, you know, the notifications popping up, interrupting the presenter, we can utilize the question and answer feature that allows you to see the questions coming in, but it doesn't make a sound. And if you want to respond immediately, you can. And if it is that you want to respond after to the questions, then you can do that as well. So that option is a pretty cool feature available, and you can utilize that. There are also polls available, which, for instance, you want to vote for your best table topic speaker for the meeting. What you can do is to select the polls option and click new poll. I'm not going to do new poll and start from scratch today in the interest of time. What I'll do is to just use one of our suggestion polls here. And once you still click it, it will take you to the form. Of course, you can make any edits to this specific poll if you need to. Review your options below. So if you want the names of the respondents recorded, then you can tick that. That would only be visible to the creator as seen here. And then you click launch now. What will happen is that each person within the meeting should receive the poll pop-up similar to what you'd see on Zoom, right? So the person will then vote and select their option and then submit their vote. It will then go, the results will then go to the presenter for review. And I believe you should also be able to see that in the chat, there we go. So you're also able to see the results and of the poll in the chat on Teams, right? If you notice, I've skipped this one. I'm gonna leave that one for last because I think it's probably the most important. And it's not very technical, so we shouldn't take too long. So here in the more options, you have all of the other options and features available to you. This is the device setting. So if you're having some issues with your mic, your speakers, if you want to change, you're probably using a Bluetooth speaker instead of the laptop speaker, you'll change all of that information here. And you would save. If you want to change the gallery view, so the gallery view is what we're seeing on the screen here with all the persons, the participants here on the main screen. Together mode, it wouldn't work in this space because no one is showing their cameras. However, together mode pretty much shows it shows looks like we're in an auditorium or a conference room where everybody is seated at desks. So let me see.
Similar to immersive view on Zoom.
It's called what on Zoom? Immersive view. Right,
Yeah,
there you go. There we go. So once you have your video on, they would place your face in each of these little seats at different areas of the screen just to create a different view of the participants within the meeting. As you can see, the large gallery option is grayed out, and that's because my organization has disabled that option for use. But the large gallery option is again another view that shows, I think it's based on my checks, it was like a big conference room. So not set up more like an auditorium, but more like a conference room. So just a different view. Here, gallery at the top, typically the gallery is located on the bottom below the screen that we're viewing the information on. If you want it at the top, you can select that there, right? If you want to disable, you just uncheck and it's disabled. Full screen is pretty straightforward. You can apply background effects. So here our timer this is where our timer would go to ensure that they're keeping a good track of their time. So once you would have first have to add the picture or the image that you would like to portray and use as your background. Pretty similar to Zoom. You click add new and it will take you to your screen to, of course, add the relevant picture. You select open. It would, oh, hold on. Couldn't add new. Let's try that again. Oh, for some reason that picture, maybe it's the type of file. Let's try a different one quickly. Okay, but we understand, if I think we understand the concept, right? So we click add new. Let's try this one. All right, there we go. So once you click add new, you'd source the file that you want to use as your background. You'd select it, then you click apply and turn on video. And I'm already showing my screen. I'm not sure what will happen if I'm re-showing my screen from here. But once you click it, it will come up on your video and you'll see the background. You can, let's try and preview so we see what it would look like. I think because I'm already using my camera from Zoom, it's not showing here. But once you preview, you'll see yourself and of course the background in use, and you will click apply and turn on video to start showing your background. So for a timer, you would apply, which is what we would typically do at our club meetings. We would upload or timing signals and switch between accordingly. So apply, and at each interval, you would select the different one and apply. Right? And then I'd love to take you through the breakout rooms. So the breakout rooms is, as the name suggests, you want to, for in the instance where you want to have a club contest or having evaluation contest. And of course, you know that each evaluator has to leave the room, and then evaluator one comes in and does their presentation. Here, of course, you're seeing, once you click, one thing to note, very important, only the organizer of the meeting has the option to create breakout rooms. Only the organizer of the meeting can create a breakout room. So if you are not the organizer, you will not see this option breakout rooms available to you, right? To do so though, you would select breakout rooms, select rooms, sorry. You'll see a list of all participants here. You would click assign participants, right? Here, it will take you to a new window where you'll see all your participants in the meeting, and you would assign them. I would have pre-created, let me show you. I would have pre-created. Carol, you have a question? No? Okay. So I would have pre-created 2 rooms. To create a room, you click add a room, and another room would pop up. If you would want to edit the room, so for instance, rename it, you would just click the 3 dots and rename your rooms so that you can easily identify the rooms when you are assigning your participants. Right? Rename. So this is a bit of a little setup that you need to do prior to the start of your contest. And rename, right? So then you'll see your list of participants to the top of the panel. You would click assign participants. And of course, you'll see the full list there. You click the drop down that shows unassigned and select the room in which you would like the persons to join, right? If it is that, sometimes I think if it is that you're creating the room for the first time, sometimes it will ask you if you want to create the room manually or automatically. So for instance, if it doesn't matter who goes where, you can do it automatically. And once you click breakout, it will disperse the persons to the rooms automatically, right? So you would have assigned everyone to the respective rooms. You click assign. Right. So you'll see that no one has moved just yet. So what you have just done is prepared for the person to move to the breakout rooms, right? Once you've done that, you now see that before the open option was grayed out. Now it's highlighted. You just go ahead, once you're ready to break out your rooms, you go ahead and click open, and guys, it will now move you guys to the specific rooms. So just look out for it.
The Teams doesn't give you the option like Zoom does to say, okay, select or move automatically, just automatically move.
Yes, so it does give you the option. I've actually, when I was testing earlier, I did. Not sure why it didn't show me again. Yeah, I probably need to, I'd have to check on that one. Not sure why it didn't show me again, but initially it did ask me, Joni, to if I wanted to set up the rooms automatically or manual. Oh, I think it's because it's the same meeting, actually, yes. So in the initial setup of, apologies for the noise, in the initial setup of your breakout rooms, once you go in first, that's the first thing that it asks you, if you want to set up automatically or if you want to set up manually. But because I went in before and was testing, it didn't give me the option again.
Okay.
Right. Right, so I think our team, a few persons would have gone to the different rooms. As you can see, they are now open. So what you as the organizer can go into each of the rooms. Let me see. So you click the 3 dots and click join room, right? And that will take me, that will move me from the main room. Oh, I think whoever was in this room has left. But it will take me from the main room to the breakout room. Monique?
Yeah, question. I was in a breakout room earlier today in another session, and I was wondering, if I need help in that breakout room, how do I signal you who in the outside main room to know to come in my meeting to help
You
answer a
can
particular
send,
question?
you can send me a chat. So all of the tools that you would have had before are still available to you. So as you see here, this is my breakout room.
Uh-huh.
But this is the main room here. So it's showing me as on hold in the main room, right? So if I wanted to either send a chat in the main, on the main chat screen, I could do that. Or if you want to send a chat to, if you want to send a chat to the person on the call, you should also. Oh, you wouldn't be able to do it from this specific call because remember it's saying that you are on hold here. But if you go back to the main screen with the chat, you can speak to the person here from your main
Tell you,
chat.
hey, join my meeting room and come and help me, right?
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Right. So here's my breakout room. So I'm gonna leave this room. And then I'm gonna go back to our rooms and I'm gonna go to the next room because I'm checking in to ensure that everybody's okay in our rooms as the moderator, right? So for instance, in our evaluation segment, I would be what I did the last time was to have, I would have joined the meeting on 2 devices. So I'm listening to the main room, what's happening in the main room, and I'm in the evaluation room, and I'm saying, okay, evaluator number 2, we are now ready for you. Get ready to be brought back over to the main room, right? So that's typically what I did. So I'd leave this breakout room and I would now resume, if I'd want to, now resume to the main room, right? So when it's time for, actually let's go back to, or let me go to the next room. Let us use one of the persons here. So Nyalia, am I pronouncing that right? I hope I am. Nyala, or Miss Parry, not just, so I don't.
Hi, good night, Nealia.
Nyalia. My apologies for butchering your name. If I'm gonna move Nyalia, she's now ready. It's her turn to speak. She's going to her to provide her evaluation. I am going to, is it not? I'm gonna say Nyalia, it's time to move to the, where is it? It's supposed to be. Sorry guys, hold on. So what I typically would do, there was usually an option there that says to move participants, and then it will allow me to move the person to the next room or it's back to the main room. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing it. However, what can happen in that case is to just ask Nealia to leave this meeting and resume the call in the next room.
As in just kick her out and let her rejoin.
I could, but she could just leave. Because for instance, if I leave this room, then it's gonna end the breakout. No, sorry. If I leave this room, if I close the room, then it's gonna close everybody who is in the room, and I don't want to do that. I don't want everyone to come out at the same time. It's usually here. Usually, what I did the last time was to click the 3 dots here, and it allowed me to move the participant. I'd have to check on why that's happening now. Not seeing that now. It could be organizational reason, permission reasons, not entirely sure, but I can look into that and let you know, Joni. But yes, the other option would be to just ask the participant to leave this breakout room and resume the call them in the main room, right? Nealia, would you like to try?
Sure. So I should exit.
Yes, so you just click, ensure you're using the breakout room, which is a speaker room, and just click leave. It will then take you to you'll see the main room here, and you just click resume because now you're on hold in that room.
Oh. Hope I don't leave the meeting.
As long as you're clicking leave on the speaker room, are you seeing my screen? As long as you're clicking leave on the speaker room window, then it won't cause it to leave. Because the other window in the main room should still be active on your computer.
Did I leave the meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now you're back in the main room, right?
Nice. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Where? Nealia,
Hey,
where are you?
I think I'm back in the main room.
So why am I not seeing you? Not seeing you. You sure you didn't leave the meeting?
Oh, I'm in Zoom.
too
Too many files.
many meetings.
Too many.
Too many meeting tools being utilized here.
Let me see. I have to rejoin on Teams.
All right, let me see if I can try while we wait.
Yes, I was just gonna say, thanks, Joni.
It sent me to outside, I believe.
Sent you where?
All right, it says we let people in the meeting know you're waiting.
Oh, so you made you leave the meeting altogether.
That's what happened the last time as well when we had the contest. And I wasn't sure if it was specifically because I was a guest.
Hold on, let me try here as well.
But I'm seeing me right there. Like I'm seeing me on your screen, but on my screen it's saying that they let me know.
Yeah, which is very weird, right? Um, all right, so I'm in this room. Let's try this again. Yes, it did the same to me. Hmm.
It's fine. We had the joy of this during the contest as well. And I think what happened was we went outside and just rejoined.
Every time? No, that's not what we did.
No, it worked for those who were internal, as in you didn't have the problem with the persons who weren't guests, but as guests, this kept happening. And I'm glad it happened a second time.
Yes,
As guests, it kept happening to us, but you didn't have the problem with the persons who were
who were internal. Yes. Yes, okay, yes, you are so right, Joni. Thanks for that reminder. All right, so there's another limitation, I guess, in terms of the type of Teams package or the type of Teams account that you are using versus I guess a Zoom. So I definitely would recommend that if it is that you are in a club that is not corporate, I think it would be more suited to you if it is that you're not gonna pay for one of the Teams 365 personal or business accounts to use probably Zoom versus utilizing Teams. If it is that you are within your organization, though, so if it's a corporate club and you have the organization already has Teams available, then you can utilize Teams for these types of meetings. But if not, I would definitely recommend you probably Zoom, which doesn't limit or dissect the permissions and the features based on whether you're a part of the organization or not. So that's why it was so important for me to mention that early out, because I know the accessibility it varies based on the type of Teams account you are using. But as I'd mentioned, if you were in the organization, then what would happen once you leave the room, the breakout room, you would have the window that shows the main room, and just like I was able to, you would be able to resume that meeting. Apologies that because we're guests you guys are guests in my organization, it doesn't work that way.
And the joy of this though is that we get the practical thing to say. So in essence, if they get kicked out, you can warn everybody that if they're gonna be trapped, they might get kicked out, just rejoin the meeting.
Yes. Agreed. So once you're through with the breakout rooms, you would simply click close, and it should take us all back to the main room. If you want to also make an announcement to all the rooms, you can do that here. And that will send to all of the chats for the several breakout rooms, right? So once you're done there, you would click close. And we're all here, right? Who else is missing? It should bring us back. Carol? Carol?
Yes, I got kicked out. When I tried to leave, I was out of the entire Teams,
Yeah.
not just the breakout room. So I'm fine. I'm here. I'm watching what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Yes, so that's what we learned in terms of being a guest versus being a part of the organization. So yeah, I think that is, oh, one other thing to show you. I know we're out of time, but just one other thing here, and it's about sharing your screen. So as you see, the share option is here beside the camera and mic. You click share, and then you'll see the content that you're able to share available here. So when you have screen and you have window, of course, window represents if you have several different things up, you can select the specific window that you want to share. And then once you select that, the participants will only see that window, right? Versus sharing your screen. Whereas if you flip through different tabs or different applications, then everybody seeing your screen, everybody will see everything on your screen, right? When you share as well, it's important if it is that you want to share a video or if you want to share sound, it's important to toggle the include computer sound button on so that they can hear whatever video you'll be displaying when you're sharing. You can also share content from a camera, but I believe this is also a feature that is specific to the type of account that you have and the permissions granted is on your organization. Yeah, any questions on that?
I have a different question. I remember you showing how to name a group, but can you go over how you rename yourself? Because I saw how you changed the profile pic for yourself, but how do you rename yourself, or how does the host or co-host rename you?
Okay, so that's not possible. You cannot change your name on Teams, especially if it is that you're part of an organization. If you are a guest, for instance, you guys coming into my organizational Teams, before you get to the window to join the meeting, there's usually a pop-up. Not sure if you can confirm if you saw it, but there's a pop-up that would have your name and guest there. There's where you as a guest coming into the organization can edit your name, and that's the only time you'll be able to edit. If you are within the organization, though, you cannot, because the organization would have set a certain way in which the names would have been presented and so on. So that is done from a back-end setup standpoint. So you can't make any changes to that in the meeting or any at all, really. Any other questions? No? All right, just one other thing.
Sorry, Safiya, not so fast. How do you spotlight?
Okay, sure. So to spotlight the persons or the participants within the meeting, you would just click, of course, it'll be video, but you just click the three dots by their name. Once you hover by the name, and you would click spotlight. Yeah, so that person would be the main. If you need to spotlight someone else, you would add spotlight.
Oh, so unlike Zoom, that your video has to be on Teams, your video doesn't have to be on.
No.
Oh, well, yeah, because they know that most of the time the video can't be on, considering how it's set up. That's actually smart.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. You also have additional features, and again, based on type of account you have, from the chat. So this is the video from the video perspective, or from the meeting itself perspective, but then there's also the chat, which is or the extension of the chat. So when you're in video, or when you're on this screen, you can see the chat here. However, for instance, once the meeting ends, you will have the chat still available to you. So any conversation that would have had throughout the meeting would have happened here. Let me stop sharing from Teams, because I think I'm sharing from Teams and sharing from Zoom, and it's taking up all my bandwidth. So you also have notes, for instance, if it is that, you know, you want to make notes about meeting, what was discussed in the meeting, you can do that here. And this is accessible to all the participants in the meeting. If you are a guest of the meeting, once you end the call, these features won't be accessible to you anymore. But if you're within the organization, within the team, or within the business group, then you would have the access to these things. Attendance is also a feature, but it's not available. This is not available until after the call. So once the call ends, you can see a full list of all the persons who have joined the meeting, and you can download that information maybe you have to check to ensure that the number of persons who attended reach a certain quota, and so on and so forth. So that is useful. And any other question, guys? I think I would have covered most of what I had planned to.
While we're in the meeting, we're allowed to save any documents you put in the chat for us, correct? So we can save it to our computers, seeing as we won't have access after.
No, if you're not in the organization, you're not able to save. You can chat, and then you can make reactions. But if you're not in the organization, it won't allow you to download. You can view too, but it won't allow you to download or save it there.
Okay, that's disappointing. All right, thank you.
So yes, there is a lot of limit. That's why I suggested that if you're not a corporate club, I wouldn't recommend the Teams for your club. If you are corporate though, where you know all of your members would have an account within the organization, then it's definitely a good platform to use, because all of the features are available to you. But if you're not, then there are a lot of different restrictions based on the type of account that you have, and the permissions based on the level of the account. Yeah. Any other questions?
Are now going to drop the gun?
No. Sorry?
I'm trying not to drop the gun. To say yes, I think we've covered all the questions. Have we covered all the questions? All right, I think we have covered all the questions. Mostly if you're a guest, you can see things. Yeah, you know that Jamaican additive, what you see when you come here, what you see here, oh, it will definitely stay here. You know, ask it. Letting you know it will definitely stay here. Or you might not even be able to come back here. But the security features, as you hear a lot, is corporate.
Because it was initially created in that way. I think based on my research that I was doing, Skype was the one that was more personal, but more, you know, less linked to, say, an organization. And then Teams was made for, you know, this full suite of applications to allow employees within an organization to collaborate and communicate effectively. So I think that was what it was initially, and then they started to create teams, personal and teams for small businesses to kind of allow for a little bit more personal use. But essentially, it was first created from an organizational standpoint. So that's why I think we still have a lot of these kind of, you know, limitations in relation to if you're not in an organization versus if you are. Yeah.
Okay, so thank
All right,
you
guys.
so much for your wealth of knowledge. Today was a Murphy-filled day, and both our trainers today handled it well. And what I liked was it's nice beforehand going in knowing that you won't have the feature. You don't have to ask. No, the admin didn't give you. It's just not there.
It's just not
Remember to inform persons that if you are doing the controls or you are the organizer, see, I remember that, for a Teams meeting, that you let the guests know a lot of the functionality for them won't be available. So things may happen. Case in point, you might get kicked out of the meeting.
Mhm.
Just rejoin.